Hey everyone, so I wanted to give a little bit of explanation for this activity here, the legal age comparison. So, oftentimes when we start getting into debates about legalization for drugs and similar materials, we start to talk about the risks that are involved and how it compares to other activities that have age restrictions on them. So, for many activities in the United States, people have to be a certain age to be able to participate. You will be comparing these activities by filling out the chart below. The first column, so this part right here, gives activities and their age limits in the United States with some notes about exceptions like state laws. And I'll go over those here in a little bit. In the second column, I want you to talk about the risks of that activity, meaning what harm could happen to someone doing that activity. So as you can see here, we put risks of that activity. Can the person die or kill someone else? Like, could someone end up dying with it? Does it have physical or psychological health risks? So if it's not lethal, is there still the potential for someone to get hurt in some way with this? In the third column, say if you would adjust the legal age based on the risks compared to other activities. So again, after you've kind of looked over everything to compare them, would you change the legal age? Would you increase it, decrease it, or have it stay the same? That's all that you have to put for this particular part of the column. Then in the fourth column, explain why you would either change the age or keep it the same. So again, if you feel like it's appropriate and you decided to keep it the same, explain why you thought it was appropriate. If you wanted to raise or lower the age, why do you think that someone should have access to it only when they're older or even when they're younger than normal? So let's do a quick overview of the different activities. So driving with a non-restricted driver's license, 17 years. This is based on a state law for Kansas. 14 years in Kansas for many restricted permits, but I went ahead and went with a non restricted driver's license as the capstone for it. Um, it varies a lot in other states. So, again, this isn't across the board in the United States, but this is generally what we're looking at here in Kansas. To be able to purchase alcohol, 21 years old. There are some exceptions to minors, including familial exceptions. So, like if you're able to consume alcohol in the presence of a member of your family who is a legal adult who is allowed to buy it. And again, don't jump into things like that carelessly. Just keep that in mind as far as that's part of the exceptions for it, because the idea is that an adult can help keep someone stable in a home environment. Purchasing tobacco products, 21 years. This is the federal law, so across the United States, to purchase tobacco products, you need to be 21 years. Kansas state law is 18 years, so the age is reduced on that for our state law. When we look here at purchasing marijuana products, 21 years. This applies only in states where marijuana is legal to purchase. It is illegal by federal law. So again, we're talking, I guess, more here about recreational marijuana, but it would certainly be restricted for who it would be given to medicinally as well. But 21 years is generally what we'd be looking at in this case. So to enlist in the military, again, kind of looking differently from not substances in this case, but an activity that you can participate in. 17 years old. This is only with parental consent. You can only join the military at 17 if your parents are okay with it. 18 years is the limit without parental consent, and you have to be older for specific military branches. So this is just kind of entry-level military work. We're not talking about someone who's a high-ranking military officer. And then finally, possessing a handgun, 18 years. This is a federal law, so again, throughout the United States, for possessing a handgun, you need to be 18 years old or older. There are no age restrictions for possessing a long gun by federal law. So when we're talking about like a hunting rifle, for example, that would be an example of a long gun. Many state laws for guns vary, so I went ahead and just went with the federal law as far as possessing a handgun, as far as a portion that you can compare to. So those are the different ages that we're looking at for those different activities. So again, think about how they compare for helping you fill out the chart. Again, I hope that this makes sense. If not, please feel free to email me, call me, or you can hop in on the science department office hours, 9:30 to 10:30 every weekday, Monday through Friday.